Hello again. Here's Car Mechanic Simulator 2014. I just got this game on Steam. It was released a few days ago, I think. I thought I'd give it a quick go. I'm a bit of a DIY person when it comes to working on cars. So the most I've ever done, I guess, is change brake pads and things like that. But I regularly change oil and whatnot. So I thought this little simulator would be interesting to try out. This is actually my second day in the shop, as it were. So I'll just give you guys a quick walk around before I get into the task at hand. Graphics so far look pretty good, actually. Let's turn that radio off for now. I'll just walk over to the workshop computer. Quite enjoyed these posters from ye old days. The branding, I guess obviously not using real trade names or trademarks, but you get the idea, I guess. I think there's 3 different workshops you can get in this simulator. Okay, so let's look at the repair order, the work order. So the customer's requested a new air filter, oil filter and fuel filter. He's had these replaced over a year ago apparently. Normally you don't replace the fuel filters that often anyway. Normally do an oil change with the oil filter change as well. Would be awesome if they had a recommend work to customer feature. Nevertheless, let's pop open the hood and have a look. Okay, looks like we've got a fairly standard 4-cylinder transversely mounted power plant. Let's examine. Let's just check the oil first. If he wants the oil filter change, normally you change the oil as well. This is probably why he doesn't need any new oil. The oil level seems okay. The condition seems okay as well. Okay, let's have a look here. Air filter. Looks like. Oh, sorry, gotta go back into here. I want to see if I can take this cover off. It's not letting me. Oh, it looks like I have to take the tubing off first. Airflow meter. So we just switch to disassembly mode, and we'll do that. I guess. Normally you can take the air filter cover off without having to take all this other stuff off. Oh well. One thing I found really handy actually is that you can just hold the mouse button down and drag it across the bolts, so you don't have to keep clicking to undo the bolts. There we go. You take the air filter cover off. Okay. You can actually inspect the condition of the parts, but I'm just gonna pull the parts off, seeing as they're just filters anyway. I believe you can actually go down the wrong path and start disassembling incorrect parts if you're not careful. It's an interesting place for the oil filter. Normally they're towards the bottom of the engine. Normally they're the spin-on type as well, not just a little cartridge. I better buy some parts before I go too much further. It's interesting that there's actually the used car parts option as well. So hang on, we've got the air filter here for $28. Got quite a few parts here actually. Whereas if you go here, it's the 35. Okay, so you could, I guess, just replace parts, used parts on people's cars, I guess, and save money that way. Customers probably wouldn't be too happy though. Okay, I've got the oil filter and the air filter. I just need the fuel filter. I think I've gone past it. Oops. Up here somewhere. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put the oil filter on now. Go into assembly mode. Make sure when you put it on that you choose the new one. Can actually sell the old parts though, which is useful. Get a bit of money back. You can choose to put the old one back on if you wanted to. Probably wouldn't let you complete it though. Air filter and oil filter done. Just put the plumbing back in. There are apparently some diagnostics you can run in later missions. You can run OBD scanning, scan tools and all that sort of thing. I'll go back in there. There we go. That should be it. Drop the hood. Hang on a sec. Just thinking, fuel filter, yes, that would be under the car probably. Towards the fuel tank I'd say, because it's quite a modern car. So let's just raise the car up and have a look. I wonder if it will let me drain the oil. Not that I need to, of course, the oil looks fine, and I probably shouldn't bother. Get the oil pan. Oh, there we go. Ooh, hey, hey. Oh, uh-oh. I just made a mess as well. I should have put down the pan. That's why it's charged me $100. Oops. There's probably no need to do that. The oil looks quite clean. And I don't know where I'm going to get the new oil from either. I'll have to think about that. Let's have a look here. This is where the fuel tank would be, I think. Exhaust system looks okay. Any good mechanic would do a good inspection while you're under here, I guess. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Fuel tank and the fuel filter. Excellent. Let's just assemble that back on. So we'll go assembly mode. Put the new part in. It's done. So that's all ticked. I wonder if we can sign off on it now. Let's just lower the car first. Prepared! Ooh, no oil in the engine. Well, that would make sense. So at least it's checking for that. Now, where on earth do I get this oil to put into it? Because I didn't see any oil on that computer. No, this could be interesting. No oil. Use parts. There's no oil! No, I don't want to buy an airflow tube for a V6. I wonder if I can... Oh, there's some oil, I think. Okay, pro tip guys, don't drain the oil if you haven't been told to. Use the black props, to be honest. I don't think you can actually... Ooh, there's a workbench. I'll look at that later. Now I don't know how I'm going to put oil back in their engine. It's definitely not letting me... letting him leave without oil. That would be a disaster in itself. What if I... Ah, there we go. So you don't need to get oil first. Just open the filler and you've got oil there. Interesting. I was only doing this in real last weekend actually, but this does feel a bit familiar to me at the moment. A little bit more. In reality, of course, you'd be spilling oil everywhere and getting on your hands. Perhaps. I've never actually spilled any. That looks good. I believe that's it. So we've just changed the oil, air and fuel filters, and needlessly changed the oil as well. We can button her back up. I believe you can also test drive. Yep, you can test drive. Let's go for a little test drive, shall we? This is one part of the game that I don't really enjoy that much, to be honest. There's no steering wheel support from what I can see. I've got a Logitech G27 plugged in at the moment, but of course it doesn't support it, or doesn't seem to. To be honest, I only just bought the game, so maybe it does, I don't know, I just haven't checked it out yet. I couldn't see any options to enable the wheel. Anyway, it's not all bad. We've got an acceleration and braking test, now we're doing the slalom. Just using the arrow keys, or the WASD keys here to control the car. 3 rounds for the suspension test. Whoa. That's certainly nothing like BeamNG drive. Brakes. Cool. Okay, so first impressions. Quite impressive actually. Can't wait to see what other jobs come up. Open the door and actually sit inside as well. That's interesting. Cool. What's happening down there? Ooh, check errors. Okay, got the OBD link. OBD2, perhaps. Oh, this is cool. Obviously, you wouldn't do this if the customer hadn't asked for it or if it wasn't required. I'm just wasting my own time here doing this from a mechanic's perspective. But that's pretty cool. Nice. Actually, yeah, I can't wait to see what other jobs come up, to be honest. I think it should be good to sign off. So let's just go back to here. All the filters have been replaced. Cool. Thanks for watching.